Hello everyone, today I'm going to be taking you to Milohas, which is one of my favorite bakeries in the area. They are a Colombian bakery that specializes in Colombian style empanadas, and they also have a variety of other Colombian breads as well as sweets on their menu. Let's go, I'm going to share with you some of my favorites, and I'm also going to try some new items because they have quite the extensive menu. I'm back now from Milohas, and I got a bit carried away because I got way too many items, but I want to start off with the chicken empanada, which is one of my favorites. The chicken empanada is filled with shredded chicken as well as cilantro and little pieces of celery. There is so much to love about this empanada. One of the best parts is just the pastry outside. They make their own pastry shells, so it's really flaky and buttery. It just melts in your mouth. And the chicken they use in there is really juicy, surprisingly. Even though they use chicken breast, it never disappoints. And I think that's because all the little pieces of celery got a really nice juiciness and brightness. Of course, my most favorite topping to add to the empanadas is the sauce that comes with it. This stuff is just so delicious. It's a mixture of fresh onions as well as cilantro and a little bit of hot peppers, and it just goes so great with the empanadas. I really love this sauce, and I'm pretty much addicted to it because it really adds a lot. The sauce really adds so much juiciness and brightness. You get a really nice crunch from the onions, a little bit of fragrance from the cilantro, and you get a very mild hint of the hot peppers, although I don't really taste it a lot, but it definitely adds a lot of juiciness and fresh brightness. And I kind of like the contrast because it's really cold and refreshing to go with the hot and flaky buttery empanada. Now for this beef empanada, and I also really enjoyed this one. It's just like a little mixture of ground beef in the empanada shell. This one is incredible. It honestly might even be a little bit better than the chicken one. I love the beef in there because they use really fatty ground beef. It's so rich and decadent, and the seasonings that they use are also really fragrant. It tastes a little bit smoky, and I really love how that smoky flavor pairs with the pastry. This one is a must try. You've got to get this if you enjoy beef. Now for the chicken and potato, and this is the same mixture as the chicken one, just with the addition of potatoes. This one is just as delicious as the chicken one. Sometimes I'm more in the mood for this because I do really enjoy the potatoes. There's like little cubes of potatoes, and I think it goes really well with the pastry as well as the chicken in there. Now for the beef and potato, and this is that same ground beef mixture mixed in with a little bit of potatoes. The beef and potato never disappoints. It's probably my most favorite empanada. I really love how the potatoes go with the meat. It really goes nicely with the richness of the meat. I feel like the fat from the beef really flavors the potatoes. They have such a soft, delicate, almost creamy texture. Next is the potato empanada, which I've never had before, and it's flavored with tomatoes. I definitely feel like this makes for a great late night snack. You just have the buttery pastry and the creamy, soft, delicate potatoes, and you get a really slight tartness and a little bit of extra tang from the tomato in there, and it's really nice. Now for the cheese empanada, and this just smells way too good. It smells so rich and cheesy, and I can't believe I've never tried it before. And it's really interesting because the cheese in here looks hard, and it doesn't appear to be melted even though it's nice and piping hot since I reheated it, but I think it'll be great anyways. This is just pure cheesy heaven. I love the buttery, flaky pastry on the outside. It goes so nicely with the rich inside of the cheese. It's really nice and firm, and this is amazing. This would make for a great late night snack, just like the potato one, except I like this one even more. This is just so good. I really want to eat the rest of it right now, immediately, because it's that tasty. Now I'm gonna go for our next item, the buñuelo, which looks like some sort of fried cheesy bread ball. This one really reminds me of the cheese empanada. You just get a really nice fluffy bread on the outside, slightly crisp edges because it's deep fried, and I love that deep fried flavor. And then again, you have a very similar cheese in the middle, just a rich cheesy flavor, and you really can't go wrong with this. Now for our last savory item, this is the pan de yuca, which is a cheese bread made with tapioca flour. So I was really intrigued by that because I've never had any sort of bread made with tapioca flour. So I think this is gonna taste pretty interesting, and it smells ridiculously cheesy. Definitely smells the most cheesy out of all the other cheese items I tried. This pan de yuca is so delicious. Better than the other cheese items, this is definitely my favorite cheese flavored item. And outside of it, it's really crunchy, and it almost just tastes like you're eating a piece of fried cheese. And then when you get into the middle of it, it's more of a soft, delicate bread. It has a very subtle flavor. The cheese really overpowers it all, and then you just have a gooey, cheesy center. This is really great if you love cheese, and this definitely has a more of a melty, delicate, chewy texture, and this is just really addicting. I could just eat this whole thing and then probably eat another one immediately after. Now for one of my favorite pastries, this is the guava finger. This is a pastry shell. It basically is just like a pie crust filled with guava paste. So let's just go for a nice bite of this. These guava fingers are really tasty. I love the outside. This is very similar to the empanada shell, except it tastes slightly different because it's a lot more sweet, as I can tell that they add sugar into the shell itself, which is really nice. I love that extra addition of flavor. And then the inside is just like this rich, tart, and very sweet guava jam, which just adds so much flavor. And if you like guavas, you're gonna love this. This really tastes like a tropical treat. Next, I'm gonna go for their pumpkin empanada. They have different fruit flavored empanadas such as apple or pineapple, which I've had before, but this is the first time I saw pumpkin, so I really wanted to try this one. This just smells exactly like pumpkin pie. I just smell all those warm fall spices, and this is the perfect time of year for it. Wow, this pumpkin empanada is very similar to what I thought it would be. It tastes very, very similar to a pumpkin pie. I mean, the outer crust tastes like a pie crust, and then the inside filling is slightly different. It has all the spices of a pumpkin pie, but it's definitely missing that condensed milk in pumpkin pie, which I actually really like because it's a lot less rich and it's a lot lighter, and you really taste the pumpkin and the spices a lot more because everything really comes through. Now I want to go for the flan. It just looks like a rich custard, and it looks like there's some sort of sugar syrup drizzled on top as well. I pretty much always love flan. It really never disappoints me. I just love the rich, eggy flavor of this flan, and I also love that syrup. They really do a great job with the caramelization. It has a really nice caramelized, nutty flavor, and that goes amazing with the creamy, custardy flan. This is just a must-try dessert. Our final dessert is this passion fruit dessert. It looks really interesting. There's some sort of passion fruit jam on top, and then in the middle there's some sort of custard slash pudding, and then on the bottom there's something there too. It looks like some sort of cookie or maybe a cake. I already know I'm gonna love this. I really enjoy passion fruit as it's one of my favorite tropical fruits. This is my type of dessert. This is even better than I hoped it would be. On top you just get a really nice bright passion fruit jam. It's really nice and sweet with a little bit of tartness. And I love that crunch that you get from chewing through those passion fruit seeds. It's really pleasant. And then beneath that you just have a rich custard. It's quite similar to the flan, but just not quite as sweet. And it's a lot lighter as well. It just melts on your tongue. And then on the bottom you have a bit more of a firm cookie. It almost has a toasty sort of flavor to it, but it's very thin. But overall, this dessert just works together really well, and I love all the different layers. You definitely gotta check out Milohas. I literally loved every single item I had there. It's really hard to choose a favorite. I mean, all those different empanadas were really delicious, and I loved all the desserts there as well. Anyways, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did, give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.